Good morning. Hey guys, Joseph Sarkora here from Creative Piano Academy, and today I found myself in the very unusual situation that I have the entire house to myself. It's all very exciting, so I thought I'll make myself a really nice cup of coffee and we'll have a little bit of a chat about melody. Latte this morning, I think. The thing about having a coffee machine is when you come to make a coffee, everybody else wants one as well, so the whole thing takes forever. Not today though. So see if this sounds familiar. You know a few chords, you can move between those chords alright, you know a few pieces of music, but when it comes to actually improvising or writing your own melodies, coming up with your own melodies, you lock up, you freeze up, your mind goes blank, nothing. This is totally normal when you first start trying to be creative with something because we aren't yet familiar enough with what we're trying to be creative in. So the best approach here is to select just a few things that you can get familiar with and therefore build your confidence, and with confidence you can then start being creative. Familiarity leads to confidence, and with confidence we can be creative. And with that in mind, I have got 4 really nice beginner-friendly melodic passages for you to get nice and familiar with so you can start building that confidence up and start getting creative. So let's head to the studio and get on with it. Alright guys, so think of it like this. We've got a melodic puzzle that needs solving, and these 4 melodic phrases I'm about to show you are like the puzzle pieces that you can maneuver around, you know, flip around, do whatever you want with in order to try and solve that melodic puzzle. Now, I'm forgetting something. So I'm going to play you something first, and this is kind of what we're aiming for here, so check this out. And so on. So it sounds pretty basic, pretty formulaic, but it does give you a nice starting point to try and get used to how melodic phrases can fit together, how they can sound, how you can move them around and bash them around and generally just have a bit of fun. So I'm going to presume that you are a bit above total beginner level here. You know, you can move your fingers around the keys a little bit and you've got a very rudimentary grasp of chords, and you can perhaps accompany yourself a little bit using chords in the left hand. So 4 melodic phrases for you. Phrase number 1. We have this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? So that's C, C, D, E, okay? So fingers 1, 1, 2, 3, okay? Now fingering is neither here nor there really, because it depends on which order you put these in, depends on which fingers you're going to use, but for now you can use just 1, 1, 2, 3, okay? So that's phrase number 1. Now we're going to rattle these off pretty quick. Phrase number 2. We're going to reverse those last 2 notes. So we've got C, C, E, D. Okay? C, C, E, D. Use the same fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So phrase 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Phrase 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Phrase 3. We're going to start on the F. And we're going to drag it back to the C, okay? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So that's 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, F, F, E, D, C, okay? So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then phrase number 4, same, very similar, but we're going to start on the C and we're going to roll down to the G instead. So that's C, C, E, no, C, C, B, A, G, like that, okay? Same fingers if you want. So C, C, B, A, G, okay? So those are our 4 melodic phrases, and I would suggest that you get used to those first. If we want to string those together, it would sound something like this. So you can see how just taking those 4 melodies I've shown you and putting them into that same order that I've shown you them in, it creates a nice melody, yeah? It's nothing special, you know, hands up, but that's the point. It's about getting you familiar with the process. So now what you're best doing is, before we introduce that left hand, is just having a play around with those 4 melodic phrases and putting them into any order you want. And if you can be spontaneous with this, so you can just start and then go, maybe I'll do that. Okay. Then I'll go to 4, and then to 2, and then 1, and then 4. Okay. I've purposefully kept the rhythms very similar. So it starts at the beginning of the bar and it kind of ends halfway through the bar. And another thing I've done is I've ended each phrase on a different note, and I've done that on purpose. If you notice, look, on 1, we end on an E. Number 2, we end on a D. We end on a C. And we end on a G. The reason for that is when we introduce the left hand, which we're going to move on to now, is that I want you to try and hear the different sort of harmonies and sonic qualities. Ooh, a nice new word, sonic qualities that you can create using the different chords and ending on different notes, you know? But we'll come on to that, that's by the by. Get used to those 4 phrases, put them in any order you want and just play around with it and try and get your fingers used to those 4 phrases. So now it's time to add the left hand in, and the left hand turns it into a really nice piece of music and gives you a nice support for experimenting away with that right hand. And a really nice starting chord progression that I want you to start with, is an F major, C major, A minor, and G. Okay, so it's a very typical, ordinary 4, 1, 6, 5 chord progression. Sounds really nice with this particular melody in the particular order that I've shown you. So it sounds like this. Okay, so with the left hand you can just play this as single notes if you want to. That'll sort of carry the sort of essence of the chord across. Or you can use power chords, so you can just use root and fifth and just move that around the various chords. Or if you're a little bit more confident with your left hand, you can start spreading that out into a nice little chord, a nice little left hand pattern, whatever you want to do. It's entirely up to you. So stick with that chord progression, just get it moving, and then start playing around with that right hand and putting that melody into any order you like. What sounds good? I could go to 4. Oh, that kind of works. 3. That works. But maybe that doesn't quite work in that context. So this is the point. I'm playing around. So that's the idea. Take that melody and shove it into different orders. And what I'm hoping will happen is you'll start feeling a little bit trapped, because that chord progression is what it is, and these melodies are what they are. So the next stage to that is to start putting different chord progressions together. You just use those 4 chords, but put those 4 chords into any other order. Get a sheet of paper, you know, write it down. Write down all sorts of different combinations. So you could write down, okay, left hand, I'm going to go C, G, A minor, F instead of F, C, A minor, G. And in the right, I'll go melody 2, 4, 3, 1. Go. What does it sound like? And keep going with that, and just keep going with combinations with that until yet again you find yourself feeling trapped. And this is the point. It's about like I said before, giving yourself that opportunity to grow, but not overwhelming yourself. So you've got these little parts and you're just playing around with them until you feel like you've played around with them enough and you know what you're doing. And you'll know you've hit a really good stage with this when you've practiced it enough, you're getting familiar with it enough, and you'll start hearing melodies in your head. You'll start going, you know, I really want to take this little phrase somewhere else. So instead of this one, maybe I'm hearing, oh, maybe it'll sound nice going, yeah? Or maybe I could change the rhythm around a bit. Maybe I'm hearing this will sound a bit better. Yeah? And these little tweaks build and build and build, building your confidence, building your familiarity, until you get to a stage where they all just start flowing out naturally. So that's what I've got for you today, guys. Box yourself into just those 4 melodic phrases for now. Get really, really familiar with them. Build up your confidence and then slowly start slotting new things in. Try to keep it at a level where you're not getting overwhelmed. It's just on the edge of your comfort zone. Hopefully over time you'll start hearing melodies and they'll start flowing through your fingers kind of a bit more spontaneously. So there we go, guys. I really hope you like that. If you want to take any of these exercises and put them into a proper, structured piano practice routine, then head to creativepianoacademy.com and grab the best adult piano practice plan. It's a plug-and-play practice plan for you. You're going to love it, so head to creativepianoacademy.com, grab yourself a copy, like this video. If you liked it, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.